Hi, beautiful souls. I've been waiting for you. You were destined to see this intuitive tarot channeling today for the collective of divine feminines and divine masculines. This could be relevant to all zodiac signs. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Thanks for liking and subscribing as you enter into my A1 Day One. Sending so much special love your way. And for those of you that are new to the tribe, welcome. Take your shoes off, get comfortable, and relax. I am Earth Angel Aura 1111 Oracle. Be a sweetheart and create good karma today by not only liking and subscribing, but if you feel inclined, go ahead and donate down below, which helps me bring forth good energy to you as well. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Dear Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, thank you for intuitive wisdom, spiritual protection, and prosperity each and every day. Thank you for allowing the angels and ancestors to assist us in this reading for the collective of divine feminines and divine masculine, bringing about peace and harmony and healing to this earth realm. May every evil eye turn blind and monitoring ear fall deaf. Amen. Ashe yo. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this reading. Clear the energy with that. Let's see. Uh, should I go with this deck? Yes, maybe it's telling me to go with the comedic deck. The feminine energies are finding their voice now. And this is also in alignment with the masculine going through a major dark night of the soul, is what I'm picking up here. Ooh, okay, something flew down on the floor. Let's see. And that is the Emperor coming out. Now I picked it up with the Emperor coming out in the reverse. So, and also we have the Five of Cups coming out here as well. Okay, so many of the masculines are moving into this space of true alignment because they have experienced the major dark nights of the soul. Now, this could have been something they've been dealing with for quite some time. The dark night of the soul is not just one literal night, okay? If you're familiar with this term, you already know that. That's a term, I think it's called, it was made popular or was created by the late great psychologist Carl Jung. Okay, he was a metaphysician too, as well, I believe, but he spoke in regard to this process of awakening. So many of the masculines had to integrate themselves, their shadow selves, the light and the dark. So with the Emperor coming in reverse, they may have been manipulative. They may have abused their power. Even in the thumbnail that I created, you have this man. It's an old ad where this man is like, um, basically with his foot on top of a woman's head, and it's like he feels a sense of pride, a very super ego. Like I think that the thumbnail says something about it's always good to have a girl around, and he's stepping on her. And so many of the masculines may have thought that in order to gain a sense of authority or to feel empowered, they had to stifle the feminine energy or they had to denigrate the feminine energy. I'm definitely picking up too, like some of these masculines may have thought that they got some level of street cred, or they got welcomed by other masculine energy if they showed disrespect towards the feminine energy, and they had to find out the hard way with the Five of Cups that that was a way leading them towards destruction, which is why they may have been propelled to go through this major healing. Many of them may have succumbed to addictions. This could be relevant for air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, because we see this air here, as well as water signs, earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Okay, take it as it resonates, because this could resonate for other zodiac signs. But what I'm picking up with this is that this was a part of just being a part of society. It's not necessarily to blame the masculine energy per se into why they may have thought this. This was like a process of them coming to who they were, destined to be, because many of them picked up a lot of these very distorted views in regard to masculinity based on society. Um, some of them may have picked up these toxic views in regard to women based on even women that were in their life that were very like male identified in the worst ways possible. But it took, because what I'm also noticing is with this card coming out, well, sitting here, Spirit told me to leave this deck here for a reason. It's because of the Two of Cups. They have experienced having true harmony with the collective of divine feminines, and what they end up thinking, they begin to take that energy for granted, and which is why they may have thought that they had the divine feminine in a position that she was just okay with being denigrated, mistreated, and that wasn't the case at all. Many of the divine feminines, you may have had a sense of unconditional love, empathy towards the masculine, but when you realize that they were using their energy in a way to control, to manipulate, to dominate the divine feminine, when you pulled your energy away, that sent the masculine into these dark nights of the soul. Many of them, again, I mentioned about having experienced levels of addiction because they were not wanting to face themselves. They were not wanting to face that the way in which maybe they saw other men behave towards the women that were in their lives. They were not able to successfully do that with you, divine feminine, and it was because you moved into a place of power. You had to empower yourself. Wow. And we have the Tower card come out in reverse. So this is representing that many of the masculines may have felt that they may have already experienced levels of towers, or things really not working out for them based on with the Five of Cups, okay? They had experienced some hurts. Many of them could have experienced some type of near death experience of some sort in the physical. And they realized that if they continue to spiral out of control, if they continue to bring disrespect towards the feminine energy, that it was going to result in them going through another karmic cycle. This was an aspect of why they may have awakened to really come to terms with why they felt the need to show disrespect towards the feminine energy. Disrespect in the feminine was also an aspect of them disrespecting themselves, if you're picking up. This has been an awakening for both the feminine and the masculine energy, but I'm heavily picking up that the divine masculines are literally experiencing an awakening after a major ego death. It took for you to walk away from the connection, and this is why you're feeling heavily that the masculine is manifesting union with you. And it's because now with the Knight of Pentacles here, they're realizing the value of respecting the feminine energy, because they were very stubborn. Many of them have fallen victim to an emperor in a reverse. They may have fallen victim to society, media, a lot of indoctrination. Why is passport bros coming to mind? Like a mail order bride type of dynamic. Like they were listening to people that actually fed into that type of illogical, irrational thought process. But now with the collective consciousness raising, a lot of women, and again, there's a lot of women that are distorted, but there are a lot of women too that are realizing their worth, their value, that they do not have to be in a position that is to be dominated. And the masculines are awakening to that too. We also see we have the Seven of Cups coming out here. There was the illusion that there were a lot of options. I think this too has a lot to do with the fact that this age of technology is like we're having to recalibrate our minds per se, because when it comes to technology, it can give you the illusion that there are a lot of options, but the options are literally slim. Okay, even as you can see, some of these cups have snakes in them. Okay, some have, a couple have snakes. One has a dragon of some sort. Yeah, what society has projected on the masculine and the feminine energy has been a lot of distortions. Many of them have felt that too, like when they were able to being that energy of being very karmic, of being very like demented. They were demented, delusional. They were all these things except for truly a divine masculine. And they realized that it was not something that was serving to them. It was not something fulfilling to them. They realized that they didn't want a doormat. They didn't want someone they can literally walk all over. Because when you pulled your energy back, because literally with the cards that has already come out, there's no divine feminine energy here. But what we have coming up next is the Ten of Cups. They see the Ten of Cups with you, divine feminine, because your self worth, with you detaching yourself energetically from the masculine and not moving in a way in which you may have tried to be offensive or try to hurt the masculine. You're just simply detached and focused on yourself. With the Ten of Cups coming out here, the masculine sees your self love, your self value as very attractive. And this has brought them to a place of also awakening. Serendipity could be something that resonates with you in regards to this. They see that they can actually have stability, they can have a fulfilling relationship, union with you, divine feminine. Um, and a lot of this too is because they see that they can also have a happy family with you. Some of what may have happened with the masculine at this time is that they may have experienced seeing women put in a position that was very like in an inferior light. That's the best thing I can say about this. And they may have thought that, okay, this is the way in which I need to behave. They may have grew up around men that behave this way, but the energy that they have, the connection that they may have had with you, they realize that it was fulfilling without having that. They have fallen into the trap of what others may have suggested to them. And when you pulled your energy away, that was a major lesson for them. They were like, wait a minute, I can't treat her this way. She's not tolerant of it. Mm-hmm. Look at the devil just jumped out here. The devil must have been involved in it because it's just like we also have addiction, depression, materialism, bondage, mental health issues. Yeah. They went through a lot during this time because even when they may have thought they may have been able to be involved with feminine energy that was tolerant of that sort of behavior, but it was very toxic. It was a lot of back and forth. They may have experienced. I'm definitely picking up for some of them. They may have experienced some major karmic lessons because we have the Tower card coming out in reverse. They may have experienced people, doing hurtful things towards them too. So it wasn't just one sided. It wasn't just them thinking that they were going to dominate feminine energy. There were feminine energies that were doing some really devastating things towards them because we have the death card coming out in reverse. So they may have gone through a literal ego death or several, but many of them may have experienced nearly being unalived, is what I'm picking up. And that just keeps coming to mind. Wow. God has been trying to awaken them. The Creator has been trying to awaken them. Because we had the Empress in reverse. They fell for a lot of illusions. Okay, they may have thought that there were options out here that may have looked better than the Divine Feminine in some aspects. But these individuals like true beauty internally. They were really ugly on the inside. Like their character, um, they had a lack of morals, integrity, lack of confidence. And they also realized too, because we have the Knight of Cups coming out here, this is why you're feeling heavy. We also have the Knight of Pentacles. They see that there's others that really value you, Divine Feminine. So this has also compelled them to really awaken. Because with the Knight of Cups, this is representing a marriage proposal, attraction, warmth, gentle, They even realize too, because this is also representing chivalry. So, just how there are these karmic energies in the form of the Emperor in the reverse, there are those, there are really great men out here, but it's just that the ones that are not so great are very loud. um, Now they're realizing that. Wow, the changes that are happening are initiated by you getting up off the floor. You're not a freaking doormat. Divine Feminine, you made the decision. And for some of you, it's not, you never were intended to be that way. It's just that you may have just assumed that, okay, this person may be a little rough around the edges, I'm going to respect, their stance or whatever. But when you begin to realize that, wait a minute, they're taking my kindness as a weakness. Also, with this Two of Swords here, I'm also picking up divided loyalty. So it's like many of them may have tried to put you in a position where, yeah, they may have respected you when it was just you and the masculine alone, but when other people were around, or it could have been brothers or even a father figure, but when there were these very toxic males around, or even females that were toxic, they presented a different side of themselves, right? Yeah, confirmation. And that's when you had to pull your energy away. And another aspect of this was that when your energy was pulled away, with the Ace of Cups come out in reverse, many of them begin to experience a lot of loss of resources. Um, Many of them may not have fully valued the presence that you bring. Like, you may have given them a lot of positive energy. That is something that they were not able to come across. A lot of people that were genuine or really cared. This also gives insight into the fact that there were deep seated core wounds within them. And not only within them, Divine Feminine, there were deep seated core wounds within you too, because we have the High Priestess in the reverse. You may have had a mother figure or a father figure, take it as it resonates, that um, may have been very deceptive, maybe manipulative, low self esteem. Okay, for you to even be in a position to allow the masculine to have did something or another to you in that way, I may have lost someone there, but you may not be ready to hear this truth. This isn't for everybody, but for those that it resonates with, this is representing a lot of freedom for you. So when you begin to realize that, okay, may have been just because I may come from people or been associated with people that were not fully aware of their worth and value, I am going to value myself, which is why the High Priestess in reverse is coming out. This is teaching both you and the Divine Masculine a lot during this time. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, because there was a lot of disorder. That type of life is not really what they wanted. It was unfulfilling. And I'm also picking up too that these masculines that this is resonating with, they had a conscience. They could not operate in the way in which others operated. They actually had a conscience about the things that they were doing, and they felt very bad, which is why the addiction cards came up, because it's like, in order for them to do some of the things that they may thought that they were should do as a masculine energy, they never felt right about it. Being disrespectful, um, not doing what they necessarily needed to do within the connection, being in and out. Some of them may have thought that it was a way to be accepted. There are some core wounds around being accepted. So this definitely could be about the Emperor in reverse, because it's just like, if they never felt fully accepted by their own father figure as an adult, many of them may not even been behaving as an adult. They may have been behaving more so as a man child per se. They wanted to bring some type of acceptance towards themselves by thinking that, okay, if I curse her out, if I call her a bitch or blah, 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 if I treat her this or that way, then I'll be accepted by masculines. But the type of masculines that were accepting them were people that they they didn't think the best of. So it just was like a lose lose situation, of being within that very karmic energy. A lot of it too was bringing a lot of shame to them, which is why many of them had to try to drown out their feelings until they couldn't anymore. You pulling yourself away from the connection, awaken them. hmm Refusing to compromise, rigid, obstinate, last one standing. Yeah, this was a really difficult battle for them because it was, for them to get to the point to admit that they were actually in the wrong, it took a lot. But without your energy, they had no choice to do so. So henceforth, the awakening happened. hmm Releasing pain, y'all. Let me make sure because I've had a couple of reversals here, but it is what it is because I've shuffled really good. But they're releasing pain. Many of them are now in their awakened state, and they may have gone through several awakenings. But the truth of the matter is that they're wanting forgiveness. Wow, they're wanting forgiveness because going back to the Ten of Cups here, they see that this is a true union, someone that is just like, although they may have been in a position where they could have been very domineering, where is this coming from? Why do they want to be so domineering? And I already picked up a few cards in regard to this. They wanted to like appease the masculine gaze of thinking it makes you a man to dominate a woman and mistreat her, but they never felt right about this. Which is why we have the Five of Cups. They never felt right about it. There were some core wounds here, and again, they're coming to terms with the fact that they may have been taught wrong, or they may have held some hostility against their own mother figure, which is why we have the High Priestess in the reverse. Yeah, some of them, their mothers never really stood up for themselves, and so this came to the surface. Um, wow, this came to the surface within this connection because you may have wondered like this person may have switched up on you, like they may not have initially behaved this way towards you, but then they shifted. And when they shifted and began to not treat you in the best ways, then you begin to realize that, wait a minute, this is what's coming to the surface. Like the shadow side of this person came to the surface is what I'm picking up heavily here. Shadow side came to the surface, and it may not have been the most pleasant experience, but this is what happens in true connections. Like when people get comfortable, their true selves come to the surface. And so this is what has come to the surface. This masculine may have been hurt early on, even by a mother figure, a sister, even other relationships that they've experienced. But they're releasing this pain, they're overcoming this level of depression in regard to their stance on how they should treat women, how they treat themselves, because it's an extension of yourself. If you love yourself, you're going to treat the people that you care about well. But the people that they cared about did not treat them well early on. Again, we have the Emperor and the High Priestess in the reverse. So this is representing that maybe their mother and father figure may have let them down early on. This could also resonate for the divine feminine because it's not just about what's happening towards the masculine. These things are happening towards the feminine too. So it's just like a dual healing. There's ego death, or there is a healing of your own shadow when it comes to the divine feminine as well. Both of you are in this place of realizing that although there may have been core wounds in regard to how your parents may have treated you, whether that was actions or inactions, healing is happening within this connection. You are mirroring towards the masculine your unconditional self love by you not accepting the way in which they are or the way in which they begin to show themselves. Um, your self value is beautiful. And by you still showing love and compassion towards the masculine, even though you may have detached physically, they're like, wow, that's awakening them to true self love of yourself and unconditional love towards them. So it's just like healing is happening on both aspects of this connection. So whereas most people would just deem this as the narc empath dynamic, this is on my in my perspective from a spiritual lens, this is the awakened and unawakened. hmm And so this is what's happening now. We have an ending of a cycle. They're in this hermit mode right now. They're in this process of actually going through spiritual enlightenment. Soul searching could be something that comes up. I'm also picking up heavily on their experiencing solitude. A lot of it too has to do with the fact that you both have experienced a lot. Let me make sure my volume is up really good. Thank you so much. So you both have experienced a lot when it comes to this connection. But with the Hermit card coming out here, it's as if they are reemerging. So they're actually taking the time to really they're taking the time to step into who they truly are meant to be. So the shadow side came to the surface, but it needed to come to the surface in order to integrate with who they truly are. Many of them may have suppressed parts of themselves that unfortunately it comes out, but that's a process of when you actually move into a space of really loving someone, even the parts of your side that you try to hide, it's going to come to the surface. And so these things came to the surface within the masculine in order to be healed. But you did the right thing by separating yourself energetically because that also brought about parts of yourself, divine feminine, that needed to be healed. Parts of yourself that may have tolerated things that you knew you did not deserve. Okay, maybe your mom didn't have the courage to do so, or for some of you, maybe your dad didn't have the courage. Because I know me personally with my father may not have been the best, but he was a really, really kind man. He may have made some mistakes early on, but he made it his best effort to do right by my mom. Um, but it's like sometimes when damage is done, it can be really hard if you do not pull away from the connection. And so just because you love someone, it does not mean that you have to tolerate their dysfunction. So that aspect within you, divine feminine, may had to be healed when it came to this connection. You have love towards your masculine, but when toxic baby behaviors, baby coming to mind, like they want to have, where is this coming from? They want to baby you, they want to have a baby with you. I don't know, it just came up. But they're heavily in thought about you at this time because you are showing true unconditional self love, and that's propelling them to have unconditional self love towards themselves as well. Okay, we have, wow, okay, the Eight of Cups is here, you all. So this is about letting go because many of them may have felt that they were dealing with some level of abandonment early on, is what I'm picking up here. That's what's happening. They experienced some level of abandonment early on. And so it's like they were not able to get back at their mother figure. So they try to do that with the divine feminine. hmm But just be prepared that they're coming forward in a very healed way. Spirits want you to have patience with this process, which is why the Temperance card is coming out here. This is a transition that's happening for them. Um, they're wanting to come forward too with the Six of Pentacles coming out here. They're going to be very generous towards you. There's going to be a lot of good fortune that comes about on their behalf because they feel like you're worth it. And again, they may have caused a lot of trauma that you had to heal from. So it's like they're wanting to make up and invest in this connection, bringing forth a lot of kindness. Sharing is something here. This could be definitely relevant for Libra. Okay, we have a scale being balanced here in the back. But some of them are moving to a place of having like self-employment is what I'm picking up. They're very charitable, very generous, and they're wanting to be very generous towards you, in particular, divine feminine. And they may have tried to use their resources in the past in like a manipulative way. That's all change. Now they're in a space of temperance, balance. They see you as their twin soul. They may not use that term, they may say the term soulmate, but this is a true twin flame, twin soul connection. And they also realize that this is a very harmonious connection. Beautiful, beautiful balance happening here. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate the love and the support here. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate you for liking and subscribing. And for those of you that donate to our platform, thank you. And thank you for those that have sent me gifts. I really, really appreciate it. Through Amazon. You can go in the description box below if you would like to be a blessing here to the platform as I continue to share, spiritual insight. Again, just give you a little insight. I am a half of a beautiful divine union, and we've been together for, it'll be 22 years this October. And so, 22 years married, 26 years together. So believing in the healing of your divine masculine is not a waste of your time. I know some people try to make it seem like it's just a waste of time, but it's not. Because believing in your divine masculine is also believing in yourself. It's not just about the masculine carrying the brunt of healing and issues. There's issues in both the masculine and the feminine, but it's definitely worth the investment. You could also have monitoring spirits, but I'm telling you that right now, karmic retribution is here. There are those that may have tried to plant seeds of doubt when it came to the masculine and the feminine, but a lot of that is exposed at this time, and that's something that the masculine is also working towards dealing with. A lot of karmics that may have energetically tried to bring disharmony to this connection. Oh my gosh, we have the Six of Cups coming out here. So this is a beautiful card. This is representing that a lot of nostalgia. They really, really, really admire you, really value this connection. This is a very harmonious connection, and it's just like true happiness. Be prepared because there's reunion here. But in the interim, they're actually taking care of. Again, Libra is coming to mind because I also see another Libra sign here. They're tying up some loose ends because they're really awakened to the depth of this connection. There's new beginnings here. It's like they feel very comfortable with you because of the fact that you've given them space to actually take care of things that they need to, like take care of their mental health. Some of them have gone through bouts of depression, anxiety, because even the things that they may have done that you have experienced based on their unhealed aspects of themselves, they feel very bad about those things. Now that they're in a level of sobriety is what I'm picking up for some of them. Wow. So this is definitely for those that you may have already been in union with this divine masculine. You may have wondered, like, where is this coming from? Those core wounds was coming up as they begin to become comfortable with you. And now a lot of healing is happening. I'm also picking up homesickness. So it's just like now that they're moving into a place of healing, they feel like home is within you. Also, another aspect too is that what was triggering to them, and they may have tried to control the dynamic in the worst ways possible, was because that's all they knew. They may have been brought up in not the best way. Even as I said, that we got the King of Cups in the reverse. So this could have been like a very karmic masculine energy, a father figure, but definitely was a male figure, a brother, but it was someone that they may have respected that definitely guided them in the wrong way. Wow. So they're actually having to overcome a lot of that. And with the death card coming out here, those relationships are over. They're realizing that, oh my God. I have like 2 death cards that already came out here, I think, or this is the second one. But they realize that those relationships cannot withstand being in their lives any longer because they've been very detrimental. They're going through a major spiritual transformation. Who they once were is not going to be who shows up in your life. Again, this is definitely a transition into a new person. Like, it's going to be so important that you continue to work through the traumas that you may have experienced while this masculine was coming to terms with coming out of that karmic mentality. Like, many of them were in the freaking matrix. They were heavily indoctrinated, brainwashed. They were conditioned that it was acceptable to be toxic. And again, it may not have always been that way, but when it presented itself, that's an aspect of what needed to be healed. So I'm under the belief that sometimes God will allow you to be aware of certain things so that you, as the feminine aspect, who is more so aligned spiritually for the most part, so that you have the insight on what it is that you really need to pray for. So when you have been through certain things with your masculine, don't just immediately just feel like, which is natural, but don't try to feel as if it was so unfortunate that you got to see some of the worst aspects of the connection. Because what it is truly an opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to know exactly what it is that you need to be praying for or against with the masculine. Because your prayers are powerful, they're working. They're really yearning for you. They see you as someone very innocent and kind. They feel also that you're a very positive influence on them, as you can see closely with this card. And so these are some of the things that's on their mind now while they're in this space of a spiritual transformation. They really are heavily in this energy. So be prepared that you may begin to see more synchronicities in regards to them. Also be prepared that you may be seeing confirmations of the feeling of relief is what I'm picking up. Like, you may have in the past, while they were going through some major changes, you may have been feeling a bit anxious. You may have been feeling like, dang, why am I stress eating? And it was because they're heavily thinking about you. That energetic cord is there. Let's see what else is here. But they see you as the star. Truly the star. Very inspiring. And a lot of this too is because you are focusing inward. Many of you are becoming more creative, balanced. And look what we also have here with the Seven of Wands. They're returning. It's happening. They're returning in the near future. Um, Heavy energy. They're not losing momentum in regard to the healing that needs to be done, and they're realizing that. I'm definitely picking up too, like, they've gone through a major spiritual transformation with this death card coming out here, and also we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse. They're just like, it's like they feel like a cloud has been lifted off of their minds, because many of them were immersed with so much negativity, um, through whatever experiences that transpired, to the point where they were feeling like, wow, how did they even get to this point? But they're freeing themselves. They're freeing themselves now. They're in this process. Let's go ahead and pull some more cards. See what we have here. Holy Spirit, give us more insight. Well, you know what? I'm going to move on to my other day. Just give me a moment here and let's see what else is here. Okay, so let's go to the Yin Yang Oracle deck and see what else we have here. Holy Spirit, give us insight and clarity on this death card. Okay, we have limitations and fears. Okay, so this definitely gives insight into definitely why you may not be hearing much from the Divine Masculine at this time, is because as they're going through the spiritual transformation, they have a fear in regard to how you're going to handle this connection. I'm also picking up that there's limitations and fears for you, divine feminine, because you could be fearing like, okay, you've seen some of the worst aspects of this masculine. Beauty and the Beast comes to mind. I don't know, take it as it resonates, but it's like you may have saw some of the worst parts of them. Um, and they're aware of this. They're aware that you have fears in regard to them, how they may behave. A lot of this too is because they realize that there has been a major point of conflict. Um, Triggers could be something that you may need to really work through, because there may have been disharmony when it came to the masculine going through some major losses. Like they may have experienced some type of traumatizing events, like some may have experienced some losses or midlife crisis. They've experienced some things to the point where it brought about this conflict and disharmony. But with this card also coming out, Spirit is wanting you to know that this is something that you should be aware to work through in the interim while they're going through this spiritual awakening, the spiritual transformation, because you're going through a spiritual transformation too. You have a lot of clarity about what has happened. It's awakening you to a lot about yourself, your own value. It's awakening you to the truth of who you really are. You having clarity about who you are, respecting yourself, allowing yourself the space to really heal, disconnecting from someone that you really care about when you see they're going through something, that takes a lot of courage. So you should be very proud of yourself, divine feminine. And just trust and believe your masculine is very proud of you as well. But they do have concerns if you will even entertain them at all. Oh my gosh, y'all, this definitely is relevant for air signs, because throughout this whole reading, I keep getting Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, especially Libra. So again, take it as it resonates. This could be you or the masculine, but they are concerned. They have a renewed spark of love towards you in this connection. And a lot of it is because, wow, okay, we have alchemy, ancestor guides. Okay, so they are seeing you from afar, whether you're aware of this or not, but they're seeing how you're able to alchemize situations. Many of them are aware that you've gone through some major changes within your life, within this connection, even if it was other people, but they are very guilt ridden because they feel as if they sabotage a connection such as this. Many of them did not. It's like during the time they may have thought it was all fun and games. They may have been trying to impress certain people, but it all backfired on them. So it's just like the mere fact that you prove them wrong. You prove to them that you really value yourself. And by you valuing yourself and separating yourself energetically, well, I will say this, maybe physically, because you still have a level of connection. But by you focusing inward, loving yourself, honoring yourself, this has put this masculine in this position where they are shooketh. There's a lot of guilt in regard to how, unfortunately, they sabotage a true connection. And they're coming to terms with how could they even get to a point of sabotaging something so beautiful, so real. It's happening. Your energy alone is bringing a lot of transformation towards this masculine, for sure. A lot of it too is because you're leaning more so into your feminine energy. You are moving more so into being balanced within yourself, and that's bringing balance to the masculine as well. Stand up, queen. Stand up, goddess. Yeah, my goddess, her feet got messed up, but she's still standing. The angel is propping her up. That's definitely an omen. Like whatever you've gone through, you've allowed your spiritual beliefs, definitely representing the alchemy. You transmuted that alchemy. You transmuted that energy that may have been negative or the experiences that you've had into something beautiful, and that's something that they really respect. Understand too, while they may be in this guilty energy, is helping them really bloom. You planted some major seeds within this masculine when you were together, is what I'm saying. And they're taking heed to that. It may not have been your intention to teach them anything. However, they're learning from how you are living your life, how you're loving yourself. They're not used to seeing people that actually authentically love themselves. Wow, this could be relevant for fire signs, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. Also, what I'm picking up is the Phoenix risen. Like, you've gone through situations where other people may have given up, but you did not. You did not give up. In fact, you rose from the ashes. I can't remember the scripture in particular, but the scripture is, God will trade your ashes for beauty. And that's what's happened. You have risen from the fire as a phoenix. Definitely could be relevant for Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, but the things that you've experienced have not been in vain. They have strengthened you. They're also bringing about a lot of strength towards the masculine energy as well, because you are giving them the ability to see that they can have a healed foundation. We have solid foundation forming, divine timing. So it's only a matter of time before all of this comes in true to a true union. Look at that. Even as I said that, we have the divine masculine coming up. So yeah, they've gone through some things, but they're actually moving to this place of standing up truly for who they are, being renewed, being healed, and it's happening. There's a lot that is, although we may be in a patriarchal society, there's a lot that is heavy on the masculine energy at this time. A lot of bashing, a lot of negativity. And a lot of the masculines had to find out the hard way that choosing to live a very karmic life, or a life in which there's not much respect for the feminine energy, is only self-destructive. Okay, we both need each other, and the masculines are realizing that now. hmm They're really inspired. Wow. Okay, so we have the vanity and pride. Okay, with this eagle card coming out here too, with vanity and pride. Now I'm picking up with this coming out too is that they're seeing that, oh my gosh, they're inspired. Okay, so let's see. You may have had an issue with your self-worth and value in some points, but by you realize that, wait a minute, how this person is treating me, I don't deserve this. When you pulled your energy away and begin to love on yourself more, you move into a place of actually having self-value, whereas they may have had a hyperinflation of importance. The scales are being balanced now. This is all making sense because we keep having Libra come out, which is representing the scales. So there is becoming a balance of the masculine and the feminine energy as a collective. Beautiful. Hold on, y'all. Let's pull a few more. Yeah, it's happening. So we have the rejection, loss, fragmented, and we also have the apology and forgiveness. So you definitely may have felt this way, but you may have actually moved out of this energy, which is why we also have the ego card, the vanity and pride coming into place. You're building back your confidence in yourself. You're loving yourself. It took you to have a lot of self-love in order to pull away from someone that you have love for. But this is why they wanted to come forth with an apology and forgiveness. Okay, they're coming to a place of connecting with their emotions. Is what I'm picking up here. They're actually feeling this way. They're feeling rejected. They're feeling lost and fragmented. And so you may have felt that way, but now they're feeling this way. And it's because when you pulled your energy back, they felt the energetic loss of you, divine feminine. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hold on, y'all. A lot came out. Let's see what's here. Yeah, they're in heavy thoughts in regards to this connection. And a lot of this too is because now that you pull yourself back, like many of you, you were fulfilling them, you were replenishing their energy, but then they were taking it for granted. Some of them even thought that they could be a player until they started playing with you. And then when you pulled your energy back, they're like, wait a minute, something's not right. That's because that's a true connection. And they do not want to lose out on this. They're coming in for a reunion. And it's going to be a forever union. They're not letting you get away. So this is why it's taking time, because they're getting themselves together. They're actually doing a major healing. There's some things that they have to really go through in order for them to really become whole. But they're doing the work. They're being very strategic. So this is a true divine masculine. And they're moving to a place of really having self-worth. They have great expectations for this connection. Earlier we had the 10 of Cups coming out here. So this is a sure thing. This is something that you can realize, or you could believe in. I'll put it that way. Wow, they see you as someone very strong and empowered, and you're very inspiring towards this connection. So continue doing whatever it is that you're doing to bring healing here, because this is a part of them going through the dark night of the soul. This card came out in this reading. Okay, they had to merge their shadow side. But the nurturing, the compassion that you have towards them is something that is very inspiring and something that they're longing for. Let's pull a few more cards from this deck. That was two that was stuck together. So let's keep going. The detachment. So they may feel nonchalant or cold, but what is happening is that they're coming to terms with what it is that they need to heal as a man, and they're getting there. Okay? Part of it too is because you may have become cold and detached somewhat towards them too, but it was necessary. It was you healing. They're no longer victim to deception and temptation. Okay? Some of them may have had issues. Oh my gosh. Y'all, the water signs. So this is relevant for Pisces, definitely relevant for Cancer, Scorpio, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Emphasis on Pisces and Libra at this time. They're not tempted by anything other than you. They've overcome that. Many of them may have had an issue with corn. Substitute the K for a P. They may have fallen victim to some level of temptations, illicit drugs, or things like that. Like they could have been like an adrenaline junkie of some sort, but it's like when you energetically pulled away this Pisces energy here, it brought about a lot of emotions. That's something that they have not been able to experience with anyone else, is that deep connection. Avoidance, stalemate. Yeah. They were avoiding actually experiencing how they really felt. They were trying to hide their true feelings by being indecisive, trying to be a so-called player. But when they played with you, that's when the game changed completely. You did not want to play, and you did not. And then with the cycle's completion card coming out in a reverse, it just represents too that, wow, they really had a difficult time healing from those karmic cycles, is what I'm picking up here. Past life and suffering. So this could definitely represent some level of insecurities in regard to how would it feel to actually experience true love. And now that they realize that you're not around, they're realizing, okay, they could actually lose out on this. So it's been a major catalyst for healing within them. Let's move on to another deck here. Wow. Okay, let's see what we have. This says a whole lot. Detox your friendships. So this is another thing that they're having to work on, is the fact that they may have had people around them that enabled or encouraged negative behaviors. So detox your friendships. They're choosing to be with people that are more inspiring and supportive. They're also realizing that there may have been people that saw how beautiful or value the connection they had with you, and these people gave them bad advice intentionally. Many of them are even angered by some of the choices they made based on other people's poor advice. Wow. Another card in regard to that, leaving. They're leaving all that behind. You may have, peeped the fruit of so-called friends or relatives, and you may have said something, and they may not have been very receptive to it. Okay, but now that they're able to see these people motives for who they truly are, now they're able to realize that, okay, I have to move on from these people. I can't have these people, because these people were sabotaging the connection. They're leaving behind that old life of theirs. Volunteer. Okay, so and it's not something that they're being forced to do. They're actually volunteering to go through this healing journey. They're making the choice to do this, because I'm definitely picking up that some people may have even tried to make it seem like, oh, this person is trying to change you. No, these people were wanting the masculine to be self-destructive. So spirits want you to continue to keep the faith in regard to this connection, okay? Because many of them are having to realize that they were surrounded by people that were actually adult children, okay, making poor decisions intentionally. Um, it is an end of an era, okay? Also, keep in mind that you are stronger than you know. This is what the masculine is also beginning to realize. They're drawing a lot of strength from you, divine feminine, and you're drawing strength from them because they're able to overcome this. They're going through a major level of spiritual growth. So keep positive intentions in regard to this connection because they're going to need it. They're having to actually heal from things that many other people within their lineage may not have had the courage to heal from. But this love within this connection is worth it. They're doing what's necessary in order to actually heal because they know they cannot come towards you in unhealed energy. hmm Okay, so raise or promotion. All right, so things are definitely going to be shifting forward for them. And they see that they're being given so many different, I'll put it this way, the things that they may have experienced is not in vain. They're going to be able to use the experiences that they had in order to propel them into this next season of their life. Because within this card, with the raise or promotion, it says, congratulations, an increase in your abundance flow awaits you. This is a result of your positive focus and willingness to take action based on your divine guidance. Keep up the good work. So the Most High is blessing them with a renewed life, a renewed vision. The things that they may have experienced or had to overcome is also going to be in line with the things that are going to be a blessing, not only for them, but for this connection. Oh my gosh, y'all, even as I split the deck, we have a windfall. There's something that this masculine is destined to do that's going to bring a lot of healing to others, which is why they may have went through a lot in order to get to this healing aspect of themselves. But with the raise and promotion card coming out here as well as windfall, this is a beautiful transformation that's taking place. Another card in regards to this, we also have dreams of abundance. As you sleep, God, your angels, and your higher self are giving you divinely guided ideas, answers, and solutions. Be sure to record your dreams in a journal because they contain valuable insights that will help you manifest your desires into reality. So it's happening. As you're beginning to see positive aspects of moving forward in your life, your masculine is doing so as well. They're very motivated by you. Motivation, maybe your motivation. They're motivated by your love, motivated how you're able to move on with your life. That's what's happening. It's like you're moving on with your life. You have love for your masculine, but you had to let them go in order for them to heal, and they're moving forward because they want to be with you. hmm Be prepared that it is safe for you to receive. The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources will be available to you. Open your arms and receive. So Spirit just want you to understand that what happened within this connection had to come to the surface. But spirits want you to know that you're going to be in a position to receive a lot of love, a lot of blessings. Do not reject this blessing, these blessings that are coming towards you. You hear me? I know some of y'all are stubborn and you may have some trauma, but these masculines are doing the work. You're like a muse to them. By you continuing to love yourself, have self-value, you continue to attach, you continue to focus on yourself, this masculine is motivated to continue healing. Also, spirits want you to know the importance of focusing on your priorities, the things that bring life to you, and have the courage to love again. It's happening. Your divine masculine is ready for new beginnings. Be prepared. Oh, look at this, I'll say this. By this winter, it's going to feel as if this is a completely new person. They're experiencing a rebirth because they see you as wish fulfillment. Many of them had to go through a major spiritual awakening and they're closing out major karmic contracts or covenants. Many of them, they may have had commitments to other people, but with this Saturn retrograde card coming out here, we're literally in the midst of several retrogrades. They feel as if they're no longer indebted to people of their past because those so-called commitments were conflicting with what they truly wanted or valued. Many of them are also being aligned with their spirit guides, with their angels and ancestors, and they're no longer denying the spiritual connection that is. Even as I say that, we have the twin flame cards coming out. Following that, we got the union card coming out. Y'all, how many confirmations can I give you? Healing is happening. We also have karma, balance, and justice. All of this is divinely aligned between the masculine and the feminine. And furthermore, they're extremely attracted to you. Your self-worth, your value for yourself, to pull yourself away from the connection and say, okay, you know what? You're going through something. I'm going to give you space. Even if you just completely decided that, okay, what the masculine is going through, that's his own battle. By you pulling yourself away from the connection, that has increased your attractability. They are so attracted to the fact they're not used to women standing up for themselves. And you at this time may be getting a lot of dream and confirmations regarding this connection. Trust what you're getting. Because right now you're beginning to receive an amazing harvest, divine feminine. So get prepared. Okay, 3 could be relevant. The Holy Trinity. And even if there was projections that happen between you and the masculine, this is the thing of a past. Spirits want you to continue to look forward because there was a detour for a reason. Fate had to happen. This was a divine intervention. And you are now mirroring self-love, in which they're also in the process of doing. Wow, a lot of confirmations are happening. They're having good intentions because you're having good intentions. Continue to focus on no more complaining. If you are forgiving, that means forgetting. So not even to bring up things of the past. Just start anew. Okay?